All right, I'm very excited about this hour because I came up with I was actually inspired by a friend of mine who was interested in a conversation we had several weeks ago with regards to Revolution Wind, and just from my own just talking to Gregg Cornett, honestly, who's in studio, CEO of Rhode Island Energy for a long time now, a relatively long time, about what your electric bill contains, who's responsible for it. I kind of know some stuff, so I was talking about it, and a buddy of mine said, that stuff was really interesting. Can I look that up? Where can I see all this? Now he lives in Massachusetts, so it's a different situation, but I would imagine they're somewhat similar, right? There's some
Pretty similar.
carryover.
Yep.
Gregg Cornett, thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
So the reason why we wanted to have you come in is to actually go through someone's electric bill.
Sure.
And say, because we've heard from a lot of people that the cost of electricity is through the roof. I had a friend of mine tell me today, he goes, it's got to be something else, because ever since we've seen the new bill, it feels like my electric bill is up and down and all over the place, and something's going on. I don't know what it is. We've talked about that. People are concerned about smart meters and whether or not that is going to be good for them or bad for them. So we have a lot of stuff to get to. But I think the main reason why I wanted to have you in is to go through the bill. I have the mock-up bill.
Yep.
That you guys are it's on your website now.
It is. Yes.
Is this a new version? Is that what I'm hearing? Is this newer? Because I know you had one before.
I think this is the same version that we had before, with some additional explanation on there. And what we're going to do is keep that updated. So as as supply prices change between summer and winter, we'll update it, and we'll flip back and forth so that folks can see real time because the percentages do change with supply prices changing.
Okay. So what I want to do with you for the next half hour at least, and maybe we can take some calls after the bottom of the hour if we can. We're going to try. It's not a priority with this, but we'll try. For me, going through all the line items in the bill so that everybody understands exactly what it is you guys control at Rhode Island Energy, and then what everybody else controls, the various, whether it's the market, whether it's the General Assembly, the federal government, whatever it is. So that way, when they want to complain to somebody, they know who to complain to.
Sure.
And at the very least, if you want to make policy decisions or you want to advocate for policy decisions, you can actually find the people who can make the decision and point the rhetoric in the right direction.
Yep.
So, all right. So let's start off. So everybody looks at their bill, I think, first of all, and they look, why am I only using, in this mock-up bill, $94.33 of supply, and yet the delivery is $135.18.
Yep.
Why is that happening? It drives people crazy.
Yeah.
So can you explain first the difference between the supply side and the delivery side? What does that mean?
That's probably the biggest question that I get to. So it's a great place to start. So the supply, I think the thing that confuses folks the most is the not understanding what goes into that delivery side. The supply side is pretty straightforward. It's the electricity, the energy that we're buying from the market to deliver to customers' homes. We don't, in Rhode Island, we're not allowed currently to own our own generation. So there is not a single form of generation in the state that we own. No solar panels, no windmills, no natural gas, nothing.
So you go out to a network of energy creators.
Correct.
And you contract with them to supply energy to the grid at a certain cost.
At a certain cost. One component of the supply, though, is what's called renewable energy standard. So I'm going to try not to get too deep into the weeds, because this is complicated really quickly. But it's amazing to me that even a lot of our state lawmakers don't even understand the process, and we operate under the laws that they've passed. But the renewable energy standard piece of that is what we have to do to comply with the Act on Climate. So we are currently under a requirement that 39% of the energy that we buy has to be from renewable sources. That ramps up to 100% by 2033. So it's going to go up substantially over the next few years. We buy renewable energy and immediately sell it back into the market. That's under state law. So I think folks sometimes they see the windmills that are being built out in the ocean, and they think that that's going to directly serve customers in Rhode Island. It's not necessarily. It goes into the larger pool of mix that then comes back into Rhode Island to sell, or to provide to customers. But what customers need to understand is there's two components on that supply side. There's the energy, and then there's the charge that gets embedded into that to comply with the renewable energy standard.
Buying renewable energy as of right now, I know the projections are that eventually it'll be more affordable, but buying it right now, does it increase the cost of supply or decrease it? or is it negligible?
It's not negligible. It depends on the source of the energy and the time of day. Obviously, solar is remarkably pretty inexpensive, but it also only produces energy when the sun is shining.
But I mean, overall, if I had to say,
overall,
here's your power generated by natural gas, and the power generated by renewables.
Yep.
Which is going to be more expensive?
Overall, renewables are going to be more expensive as a collective group. Yes.
Okay. So
currently,
so right now, it's not wrong for me to say that renewables are costing people more money.
as a general statement, that's correct.
Okay. There may be more. It'd be more accurate to go renewable by renewable. Some are more useful, some are less.
That's right. And some are cheaper, some are less.
And some you've just recently added, nuclear energy. Now you've got a past session, you got a piece of legislation passed, so that way you can go ahead and now you can try and get some of that nuclear power moved in here because that's reliable and more affordable.
It's typically more affordable than other forms of energy. It's certainly more affordable as a general rule than offshore wind. The great thing about nuclear is it produces no carbon and it is available 24/7, 365. It's what we refer to in the industry as base load energy. So it is always available whenever you need it. When you turn the light on, it's going to be there. Same natural gas is the same way. Coal used to be the same way. It's not burned, at least not in this part of the country anymore. But those are base load resources. They're dispatchable, meaning that we can ramp them up and down
anytime you need them.
Pretty much anytime we need them. It's not dependent on the wind or the sun or
Do you have
else.
a ballpark figure that if we got rid of the renewable requirement, how much cheaper the average supply might go down?
I mean,
did you say 20%, 15%?
It's so it would be, if we take away all of the renewable energy standard itself, and the supply component is about 8-9%, depending on the time of the year. There are other aspects of renewable energy which are on the delivery side, which we can talk about when we get there. But
just supply,
just on supply right now. For example, last year, the renewable energy standard, we spent about $38 million above what the market price would have been for other forms of energy to comply with the renewable energy standard.
Okay. So with that, now you don't make any money. Correct? No profit on the supply side.
Absolutely none.
You're buying, and people can actually, as a matter of fact, I think in the past, maybe it might have been you that said it. You'd be happy if nobody bought supply from you. If you could get out of the business,
would make absolutely no difference to us from a business model.
You can pick your own supplier.
Customers can, yes.
Yeah, customers can go out there, but you got to be on top of it because a lot of times you sign up for 6 months at a time and then it changes on you and you're not paying attention. There's actually a service I think that's out there where you can sign up and they'll do it for you.
Yep.
So you can maybe save kilowatt, a couple cents a kilowatt hour if you do that kind of thing. But you guys
have to stay on top of it.
You have to provide it, but you make no money on it.
That's right. We're the service provider of last resort. So we're required to be that stopgap if somebody doesn't want to or fails to select their own supplier, that we have to stand ready 24/7, 365 to provide that energy. But it's a direct pass through for us. There's not a single cent of profit that comes to us from that. We don't make anything on it.
So from a policy standpoint, anything that the citizenry can do to promote, more diverse energy, I guess, or more energy supply to the region would help keep that supply part under control.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with Rhode Island energy. We hear talk about a Constitution pipeline coming out of New York from Pennsylvania through New York.
Yeah.
That could deal with that. The offshore wind stoppage, that's something you guys have advocated for because it's part of the supply chain that you want to buy from, and you don't want less supply chain for your purposes means higher costs.
That's right. More, it's basic supply and demand, Matt.
Yep.
I mean, the more there is, the less it's going to cost in general. And that's why, I've been in this particular job in this state for about 2 years now. And from day one, I've said, we've got to have an all of the above strategy here, that we cannot pick our own favorite form of generation and say, it's just going to be that.
Right.
We've got to have all of the resources available. Maybe at some point in time in the future, technology will have advanced to the point where we can do more than we can do now. We have to have something that's available whenever customers want it and need it. There is absolutely a role for renewables in my mind, but we've got to be smart about it. And we don't have a policy right now as a state that is designed that way.
It's interesting to me because one of the strategies to be more green is to electrify everything.
Yep.
And yet
which puts more
Right.
demand on the system.
Which puts more demand on the system that people are trying to choke out with the fossil fuels,
Yeah.
which makes it more expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this logic here.
I wish I did. I don't understand it either. We came out of this last legislative session where we had literally some legislators who were advocating to cut our ability to invest in the grid, but at the same time trying to force us to electrify more and rely more on renewables. And those two things do not match up together.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into the delivery side.
Sure.
I think we covered the supply side. I think that's hopefully everybody's listening and pays attention to that and understood it. It is the only thing that goes in there. The only thing you guys have on the supply side is a mandate to go find certain types of energy at a certain percentage. You have to get that certified, and then you just pass the cost to the consumer.
Dollar for dollar.
That's it. All right.
Yep.
When we come back, Gregg Cornett from CEO from Rhode Island Energy, we're going to go through the delivery side, which gets a little bit more. This is where you guys do make some money.
Yep.
On this side, but there's also a lot of requirements that they have to pass on to you. So we're going to lay that all out when we come back next. All right, I must make a correction. I keep calling you the CEO of Rhode Island Energy. Gregg Cornett is the president of Rhode Island Energy.
Right. Yep.
Not the CEO. CEO makes way more money. You don't want to be called
We're
the
not
CEO.
even remotely in the same stratosphere.
Right. So the CEO of the company is PPL, is the parent company.
Right.
Rhode Island Energy is a subdivision of that company,
yep.
of which you are the president.
Correct.
My apologies. President is way cooler than CEO anyway, to be called the president. Well, Mr. President, let's talk about our bill here. We have this bill explanation, which I took screen captures of and put it up on our Facebook page. It's we're actually videoing this too, folks, for later on, so you can watch, because we're going to put these graphics up in the video as well, so that way you can see them. But you can always just look at your bill, because it's just a mock-up of your bill.
Yep.
Now the delivery side. This is the good stuff.
Yep.
The delivery, we talked about the supply, where that comes from. Let's talk about delivery. Overall, it's everything else. This is where you make your money. Mm-hmm. This is where the government implements its desires for public behavior, public policy, taxes. Of all the things in the delivery side, you guys control what?
We control the customer charge, which is a fixed charge. It's extremely low compared to other utilities, but that is a fixed charge that's meant to cover the cost of our customer call center, which is up in Lincoln, and our meter reading and billing programs. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing.
Right. So customer charge is for customer service, meter reading,
and billing.
Yeah. Okay. That's $6 according to this mock bill, but is that the one? Everybody gets $6.
Everybody gets $6. Doesn't matter who you are.
If you want to raise that, do you have to get approval?
Yes.
So that has to go through the PUC.
It has to go through the PUC.
Okay. So that anytime you want to raise that up, when's the last time that was increased? Do you know?
So we have not had, so for all of those charges that we have any control over, the customer charge and the distribution energy charge, which I'll talk about next. Mm-hmm. Those are the two things that are regulated by the state PUC. We've not had those adjusted since 2018, which was when we were owned by National Grid. So we'll probably be back in for a rate review later this year for them to take a look at all of our investments and our rates on that side of the charge. But that's been the same since 2018.
Okay. So looking at your breakdown here, the next thing on the bill would be the RE growth program charge.
Do you want me to cover the things that we...
Do you want to start there?
Whatever.
Let's go in order. So people looking at their bill,
absolutely.
They can go in order. So what's the RE growth program charge?
That's a state. That's not us. That's a state mandated charge that's meant to recover the costs associated with renewable energy growth, which is local renewable development. So it's mostly solar, but some of the onshore wind that you see, for example, it's all local renewable programs or generation that, so it's a
is that static charge as well?
No, it's volumetric. So
it's based on how much you use.
Yep.
You get a certain cents per kilowatt hour.
And so it's a subsidy, if you will, to help support those renewable programs.
Is that what people would tap into that fund for put solar panels on their homes?
That's right.
So if we see windmills in certain towns on certain properties, they will go to the state government to try to get a grant from that program.
They not necessarily a grant. I mean, they may, but in terms of the bill on us, it's just if it is something that that's connected into the Rhode Island system from a distribution perspective, if they're connected into our network, then they're going to be covered by that, and that's part of the payment back for the subsidy to allow them to be able to make those programs more cost effective for them to develop.
I think it's when you say them, I'm just trying to understand
The developers.
the developers.
Or
All right, so
the
developers,
homeowner.
all right, so whoever that is,
Mhm.
that money goes to them to pay for the upgrades to whatever they're doing to be more renewable energy based.
To be able to either construct it or to maintain it. Yep.
Okay. So that's again, that's a policy decision. That's not that doesn't go into your pocket. That goes directly into this whatever bank account or a fund to help fund renewable energy
That's right.
development in the community.
Yep.
Okay. The next one on that. So again, that's a General Assembly thing, correct?
Correct.
All right. Next one is the LIHEAP enhancement or charge, which is I know what this one is. Low income heating assistance
Yep.
program.
Yep.
Is this federal?
So there's a federal program. This is the state enhancement.
Okay. And so that's another kilowatt hour.
Yep. And it's no, actually that one, I'm sorry. And I misspoke too on the renewable energy growth. That is a fixed cost.
Fixed charge,
I was
okay.
confusing that with the net metering. That is a fixed cost. And also the LIHEAP is a fixed cost.
So in this mock bill I have in front of me, folks, $4.02 is that the standard everybody pays.
Yeah.
So you pay $4.02 in your bill to go for renewable energy growth programs and 79 cents for low income heating assistance and I would imagine energy assistance. Then you have the distribution energy charge. That's kilowatt hour based. What is that?
So that is the next thing. That's Rhode Island Energy.
Okay.
So that is to recover the cost for actually operating and maintaining the local distribution system. So the wires that go to your home, the transformers, the meters, all of those, all of that infrastructure, the poles, all of that. That is what allows us to deliver the power from the transmission system to our homes and businesses.
Now, in those two parts that are yours, is your profit built into those?
The profit is built into the distribution energy charge.
Okay.
That's the state piece. And then there's also a profit component, a return on equity component that is built into the transmission charge, which we'll talk about later.
Okay. So we have the distribution energy charge, which is yours, the renewable energy distribution charge. That's another one's a kilowatt hour basis.
That one's a kilowatt hour basis. And that one is also recovers the cost for state mandated renewable programs. And in its net metering is the primary one there. So that's folks that have rooftop solar or these certain of the solar facilities where they can sell any excess energy back at a certain price. And this is a program that we all, whether we have solar on our homes or not, we're paying for that as part of our bill. That's a mandated charge.
So if you have a neighbor that has solar panels on their homes, they have no electric bill right now. That's thanks to you.
That's right. In part, we're helping to subsidize for that. Yes.
So then you have, I just said the renewable energy efficiency programs.
Yep. That's also a variable charge. That's also a state mandated charge that helps to fund energy efficiency programs, which we and our contractor can help folks with. So home energy,
changing out the light bulbs,
insulation, those sorts of
things like that. Okay. Yeah. So if you've never taken advantage of those, you should, because you're paying for
them. That's right.
Okay. And then the last one's transmission charge. Yeah. That's yours as well.
Transmission charge is ours as well. That one is a little different because it's regulated by the federal government. And the charge that customers are paying there is the Rhode Island share of the New England grid. So we're in what's called New England ISO, independent system operator. They manage the entire transmission system and the generation resources for all of New England. So when I talked earlier about selling the power back in, we're selling the power back into the ISO market, and then we buy energy from the ISO market. They manage the transmission system as well. So that we have a little bit of control over the transmission, because obviously we're building some of the transmission system in Rhode Island. We were talking earlier about storms offline. We've done a lot of work to try to harden the system on the transmission side. It's the backbone of an electric energy distributed delivery system. So we're trying to make it be able to withstand storms.
Yeah. And so none of this stuff that you control, that you would request to control, because ultimately it's approved by regulators, right? With a certain regulatory framework, which I would imagine you mostly get what you need with some suggestions, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That
definitely some suggestions for you,
but that has not changed.
Has not changed
since 2018.
Well, on the distribution side, the transmission is different because that's kind of reviewed regularly by FERC, because they look at it in the region, not just on a Rhode Island system. But the other stuff, it hasn't been reviewed since 2018, hasn't changed. And importantly, to the point I think you're trying to make, is we don't set any of these rates ourselves. It's all subject to
regulation.
Regulatory review,
Right,
transparency.
Hold on right there. We're going to take a break for the news. When we come back, and then we can break down some other things because there's some things moving to try and help. Stay right there. Gregg Cornett is the president of Rhode Island Energy. He's in studio with me answering questions. We just broke down the bill. We have there's some dangling things we want to get to. Someone asked a really good question on the text line, Greg, and just said, when it comes down to it, can you just tell me how much of my bill is going to this renewable stuff? And you said it's difficult because it depends on how much you use, so not everybody will be the same,
right,
in terms of the amount. But you had a good answer for that for the summer, anyway.
Yeah, for the summer, and it varies because the rates or the supply costs are different in the winter. But this summer, it's 25%. So if you just look at your bill, your electric bill, and you just take 25% off of that 25% is what's covering these state mandated costs, including we haven't talked about the tax, but that tax is embedded in there as a separate line item as well. So tax and the renewable efficiency, those kinds of programs.
So 25%. A quarter of your bill, take your bill, divide it by 4, take a piece of that. That's state mandates. Yep. That if they wanted to, could disappear. That's including taxes. What's the the likelihood of them disappearing is one thing, but that could save you. So there's some savings there.
If those went away, we're still delivering energy. The system's still present. We're still doing our business day to day.
All right. What are the other things we just discussed off the air? I just completely screwed up, and I wanted to ask you the difference between. That's right. One of the things that Caroline Prediman, who's your spokesperson, who's in studio with us, also really brought up. It was a good point. The difference between the RE growth program charge, which is the static $4.02, and the net metering, the renewable energy distribution charge. Right, as we said, it was the energy efficiency. Like, why? Right. What's the difference between those two things?
So
both go to pay for development of renewables in the community.
They both go to pay for development of renewables in the community. They're I think separate because they came about at different times under different statutes, and they have different recovery mechanisms. So the renewable energy growth program is a bit smaller than the net metering program. I mean, last year the net metering program cost customers about $76 million. Well, that's for all of the renewable energy distribution pieces within that, including net metering, and the renewable energy growth was about $39 million.
That's all of that is to pay for other people to have
to help fund those programs,
renewable energy programs. So if you're looking at your neighbor with solar panels on their house, you're paying for that. You're helping to pay for that. They're paying for it too.
Yeah, they are.
But you're helping pay for. All right. The other thing, smart meters.
Mm-hmm.
Explain this to people. People get very concerned. They're like, if I don't want the smart meter, I have to pay more money. That's the case, right?
Yeah, it will be the case. Yes.
Okay.
If you want to opt out,
if we want to opt out of a smart, why do you want me to have a smart meter?
So a couple of benefits.
What does it do?
Yeah. It's network connected. So will allow us to know in real time whether a customer is out. So for example, if you have an outage at your house, Matt, we don't know until you call us and say, hey, my power's out. We'll immediately know because your meter will ping us and let us know that you don't have power. Similarly, if we're in an outage and we need to confirm that your power has been restored, we can ping it and it'll tell us, yep, Matt's got power. So that's one benefit for us. The other benefit for us is it allows us to keep costs lower because we're not having to we'll no longer be needing to roll trucks out and have meter readers to go to every house and check every meter. So that will be because we can do it electronically. For customers, the big benefit is going to be you will be able to know in 15-minute increments what you're using in your electricity in your home. And when we roll out the partnership with Sense, SENSE, which is a nationwide app that a lot of utilities use, it's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. That'll be active later this year, early next year. Those customers who have a smart meter can download the app, and it will tell them what is using power within their home at any given moment in time. So if they want,
you can literally go through your house and unplug things and determine what the big sucker is. That I've been trying to figure this out for a while now. So
absolutely, it disaggregates the load, and they can do that. And I've seen a demo of it; it's phenomenal. And then down the road, the other big benefit is going to be it will have the infrastructure in place to allow us to do what a lot of customers have been asking for, which is time of use rates or time varying rates, so that we can take advantage of periods of time during the day when the energy supply is lower. So if you want to charge your car, or you want to run your dishwasher, or you want to wash all of your kids' soccer clothes, whatever, you can do it if you want during those periods of time when the rates are going to be a little cheaper. That's something that will be coming. We have to get all
that's not going to be forced on anybody. Is there,
no,
there's no plan to be like, you can't charge your car during these times because it's too expensive.
And we have no plan to do that. Absolutely not.
But that would be an option.
It would be an option if customers wanted. It would be a rate offering. You could sign up for it or not if you wanted to do it.
Kind of like those things they do for the car insurance, when you put a thing in your car, and if you drive really slow and you're a good driver, then we'll give you a lower rate on your insurance.
Correct. And it's similar to also programs that other utilities have offered in the past. We've offered them in the past where you could, if you wanted, allow us to slow down your electricity usage during peak periods of the day, and you would get a credit on your bill. Similar kind of concept, but it's going to be voluntary. Folks can take advantage of that rate or not if they don't want to.
People are asking on the text line about the safety of these smart meters.
Yep.
Want to address that?
Yeah. So these meters, importantly, are not the ones that have the lithium batteries in them. There've been concerns around fire with those, so we don't have that. That's not the technology we're using. No concerns from our perspective.
There's no battery in these.
No battery in these. No lithium battery. There's like there's a small other, just a standard size kind of battery, but it's nothing that
no
fire risk at all. The other thing that folks have been concerned about for years is electromagnetic frequency. I mean, I've got a cell phone on me. We've got that all around us. It's no different than that type of technology. It's the exact same type of frequency.
Similar to your wireless router. Talking to your stuff.
If you're streaming your TV, all of that stuff, it's all, it's the same sort of technology.
All right. So in terms of danger, that's what people were concerned about. Power surges, things like that. Have there been anything that you've noticed with people's refrigerators after you install them?
Not with the new meter itself. We have had some limited instances, and this happens no matter whether we're changing a regular meter or a smart meter. Anytime we go in and pull a new meter and pull an old meter and drop a new one, there can be fluctuations. We've had a few limited instances of that, and I was talking to a customer this morning actually about one of those, and if that happens, we'll pay for the equipment if there's a damage, but that's extremely rare.
I had a friend of mine who said that ever since the new bills have come out, his usually very reliable energy bill, electric bill, is kind of the similar. It's up and down all over the place.
Yeah.
Is there something going on with that? Is people are noticing something different? Is there a measuring that's happening that's different than before?
No, absolutely not. It's simply a reflection of the supply market has been wildly fluctuating over the last several years. It's stabilizing some now, which is good. So that's been one factor. And then the weather is the other piece that folks just don't realize how much of an impact the weather has on their usage. They're like, but I'm keeping my thermostat at 70, and it's always been at 70. But if it's 15 degrees colder outside, it requires more energy to keep your house at 70.
Now the meters, what's the charge if you opt out? It's going to cost you a certain amount per month. $20 was it?
I believe it's 20. Yes. Yeah.
Around $20 a month. And to stay opt out, because that goes to cover the cost of somebody coming out to read your meter.
The cover cost of somebody coming out to read your meter, and it's because we're then having to buy a different kind of meter that we wouldn't otherwise be keeping in stock.
So it'll be $20 a month in perpetuity.
Yep.
And is there a charge to come back out and switch it out again? Is there another charge? Is there a $35 charge after that?
If you wanted to come back and have it changed, yes, there would be at that point. Yes,
$35 one-time charge.
That's right. Okay. But that's only if you're opting out and then you decide you want to have it changed.
So make one decision.
That's right.
Keep it there. Otherwise, it's going to be an extra $35.
The other thing I would just say to our customers is this technology. I mean, Rhode Island is very behind the 8 ball on this. Almost every other state in the country is on like 2.0 or 3.0 of this technology. So, this has been out there and been used in other states across the country for years.
A friend of mine has a house in New Hampshire. He talks about that Sense app.
Yep.
I can see exactly what's being used. He watches it from afar.
It's great.
Yeah. So you can see whether or not you left something on.
Yeah.
Especially a big item.
Absolutely. I think customers will find it. I understand anytime there's a change, it can be a little concerning, but I think at the end of the day, customers are going to find it really useful.
All right. We got about 15 minutes left. So I want to open the phones to people. If you have a question for Gregg Cornett about the president of Rhode Island Energy, about your bill, about how things operate, let's do it at 438-9776. Jump on the line right now. Rob Cody is dialed in on this one. Let's grab your headphones there, Greg, so you can hear Rob. Rob, welcome to WPRO. Hi, Rob.
Good afternoon, Matt and Greg. Hey, Matt, I have a point of clarification that I'm hoping you can make. The governor has consistently come on the air, and he has stated over and over that the wind farms will be delivering energy to Rhode Islanders at 9 cents a kilowatt. He's also stated that the wind farms will be directly delivering energy to 350,000 homes in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. He said that on your show. Is that an accurate statement?
So, hey, Rob, the way that will work, the price is right. It's 9.8 cents a kilowatt hour. That's what we've got a contract for. If RevWind comes online, that's what we would buy it for. But under state law, the way that works is we buy it and then we immediately sell it back into the New England ISO market. So I think what the reference to the 350,000 homes is, that's the amount of output that those turbines will produce would be enough to power those homes, but the molecules themselves, whether they go here or some other state in New England,
it goes into the general pool.
It goes into the general pool.
So Rob, you're not going to see directly a change of 9 cents a kilowatt hour to your power supply. It's going to go into the general pool at 9.6, mix in with all the other stuff, and then come out at a different price.
Yeah. So
I understand that, but
yeah.
what he is saying and the way he's making his statement is that when you get your bill, that your total bill is going to be based on 9 cents a kilowatt.
That's not going to happen.
You're going to add the service charge, the delivery charge, the generation charge, and
well, not even that. On the supply side, it's going to mix in with the into the ISO market, which is power generators from nuclear, from solar, from natural gas. Right. It's going to get mixed in, and it's going to come out at a different price. So it's confusing to people.
He's proliferated a very confusing point of what people's bill is actually going to be. And he's also made reference that your bill is going to go down. Your bill's not going down. Your bill's going up with renewable. And the last point I'd like to make is last year I fished 40 days out at the wind turbines in Block Island, and there may have been 4 or 5 days where 2 of the 5 were moving. And every time I was out there, they were either all down or 3 out of the 5 were down.
That's not uncommon, right, Greg? I mean, that's Rob. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. That's not uncommon. You said this last time we talked.
It's called capacity factor. So on average, wind is about 50% of the time. The good thing about it is it does tend to be producing more in the winter because the way the winds work and here in New England. So it does tend to help more in the winter when we got those hot, summer months where not much is moving. It may not necessarily be producing power at that time.
Another call. Let's go to Tony in West Greenwich. Tony, you're on WPRO. Hi, Tony.
Hey, how you doing? I got a quick question. I already have one of those smart meters attached to my house, and I didn't realize you could do all that fancy stuff with it. Like, if you can download an app and it'll tell you what's running in your house, if you're charging your electric car. I don't want that. How do you opt out of it? And I don't want you knowing what I'm doing here in my house. That seems like kind of invasive to me. So how do I stop you from knowing what I'm doing in my house?
So,
all right, Tony, thanks for calling. Just listen for the answer.
Yep. Hey, yep. So Tony, that additional piece that I mentioned, it's not active yet. But when it is, it's completely optional, and the only people that would have access to that information is you. So I can assure you, we don't know at any given moment what's powering what in your home. We just know you're using electricity. So
you wouldn't have to use the app, and you wouldn't have to sign up for it.
You absolutely do not have to. That's completely voluntary up to customers, and there's no charge for it. From our perspective, it's download the app and you can use the technology.
Mike is in North Smithfield. Mike, you're on WPRO. Hi, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, good afternoon. Great session. Very informative. Hey, Greg, question. I bought a solar system direct that I own. It's on my roof. They changed out my old analog to a digital. Is that the new meter, or will I be swapped out again with the one you're talking about?
So you're probably, I think, if I understand your question correctly, you're talking about the meter that measures your solar production. Is that what you're?
The meter that's on the house that you guys manage.
Okay, so
I had the old analog, and they switched it to a digital. Now, am I getting another new meter, or am I all up to date?
You're probably up to date. Although, when was that switched? Because we have
about a year and a half ago.
Then no, you'll get another switch to the smart meter. That the digital meter that you referred to is just a standard meter, but there have been we're required to switch out meters on a certain time frame so that
you get a double whammy.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. I would take a quick break here, and we'll wrap it up with our guest, the president of, not the CEO, the president of Rhode Island Energy, Gregg Cornett. Very informative. And don't forget, we're going to have this all up online a little bit later on in case you missed it. Got a couple of people saying, can you do it again? Well, maybe in the future we'll do it again. But as of today, it'll be up online a little bit later on. Stay tuned. We'll wrap it up with Gregg next. All right. As a public service, Gregg Cornett has agreed to stay for another segment because everybody's on the line has questions about this. So to the extent that you can keep it short, we'd appreciate it. That way Gregg can stay for another 15 minutes. So about 2:15, we'll wrap it up with him. So that way you guys can get your questions in. And he's the president of Rhode Island Energy. He just explained the entire bill, all of that. People asking about the smart meters. Donna is in Narragansett. Donna, you're on WPRO. Hi, Donna.
Oh, hi. Yeah, we had a meter switched out a few months ago and asked if we wanted a smart meter. How do I know if I have one, or should they have asked if I wanted one when they switched it out?
So you probably do have a smart meter, I'm assuming, because we started down in your area. You should have gotten door hangers and other information in advance. So if you didn't get any of that,
No,
okay.
we didn't.
So I'll tell you what, Donna, if you will, if you can, I don't know, is there a mechanism she can give us her address?
Sure, we can.
Later?
We want to put her on hold real quick. And Don, we'll put you on hold if you don't mind sharing your information. With
and
the
then we'll
producer.
check and somebody will get back to you and let you know for sure. Because it may be that we have to change out meters on a regular frequency under state regulation. So because
it could just be a regular.
It could just be a regular change out. Yeah.
Is there a way to mark these to say this is a smart meter, like a little label on top that say that, so people would know that? Because I imagine some people may not pay attention. They get the mailers, they get the whatever, and they come home. The person, they don't opt out. Will somebody just show up and do it?
You know, it's a really good point. They do have a different look to them, so that's probably a takeaway for us. We can get that up on our website, and maybe we can even send you a picture so folks know they can see what it looks like.
Oh, so if you have this, you know it's a smart meter. If you come home one day and you're just mowing the lawn and go, oh, that's a different meter.
In fact, I know we've got a landing page on our website that's
already
got all of the information about smart meters. It probably has, I believe it has a picture on there, actually, now that I think about it. And it's also got an interactive map, or at least a listing of which townships are getting them on what schedule, because we started south and we're moving north.
And the website is what, rienergy.com, or okay, yeah. rienergy.com. Just go there and look at that and look up just Google smart meters, RI Energy.
Yep.
And it'll pop up so you can see. All right. So when we come back, we'll grab the calls in the line. If you want to jump on 438-9776, we'll have another 15 minutes with Gregg Cornett. All of this will be up online at our website, 997wpro.com. We have on my Facebook page, you can see, and we'll include this in the video of the interview, folks, so you can see the actual mock bill. But best thing to do is just look at yours. Just look at your bill, and we'll go line by line exactly what everything is for, what you're paying for. That way you know who to complain to when you're sad about the cost of the bill. And really, seems to me that in terms of policy, more is better when it comes to sources of energy. That's next. Stay right there. Really interesting questions coming from the audience about, it seems like most people are asking about smart meters. We've been going through with Gregg Cornett. If you're just joining us last hour, we've been going through Gregg Cornett, your electric bill. Gregg has graciously agreed to stay for another segment here to answer some questions. We'll get to as many as we can right away. But if you missed it all, we're going to have this whole thing up on video later on YouTube, up on our website and the podcast. It'll be out there on social media, so make sure you check it all out there. Get all the breakdown of your electric bill, from what Rhode Island Energy itself controls to what the government controls. So that way, when you're looking for lower energy prices or lower energy bills, you know who to talk to about what. That's kind of the goal of this whole conversation. And we were just talking about the smart meter topic. And if you're looking at the video right now, we have the web page up on the video where you guys you go to rhodeislanenergy.com and you click on the more tab and you go to the frequently asked questions part, and then you can see, frequent questions, go to advanced meters, and there's a whole page about the process. There's a video there for you to watch.
Right.
They look different. You said that the meters actually will look different so people know, and there's a map to see whether or not your area has been completed. It seems like the majority of the state is in progress right now.
It is.
And will be completed by the end of the year-ish.
Right after the first of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the northern part of the state's going to be the last. So if you're up in Woonsocket, up in Cumberland, whatever, you might be later on in the second quarter probably, of next year. So the digital meters are coming. If you opt out, one great question, if you are a renter,
mm-hmm.
whoever has the account of the electric bill is going to be the determining factor as to whether or not you switch out the meter. Is that correct?
That's right.
So if you don't pay, if your utilities are included in your rent, your landlord will be the decision maker, because chances are the electric bill's in his or her name.
That's right.
if it's in your name, you can opt in or opt out, right? Even though it's not your property.
That's right.
That's
If
the way
you're
it
the
works.
one paying for the bill. Yeah.
Okay, so that works there. Let's go out to the phones. People waiting. Joe is in Cranston. Joe, you're on WPRO. Hi, Joe.
Hey, thanks for taking the call.
You're welcome.
Sir, what exactly is the Rhode Island gross profit tax in the back of the bill? What is that?
Yeah. So it's a gross earnings tax. It's state mandated on all electric deliveries at 4% and gas deliveries at 3%. So that's, again, it's a tax that the state has assessed on electricity and gas delivery. So we collect it. We're required to collect it, and we're required to deliver it to the state.
So it's more or less a sales tax.
Yes, it's a delivery tax. Yep.
Okay.
That's state taxes.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Joe.
I appreciate
I
that.
appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
So we should probably is everything here on the gas bill as well? Is there anything different about the gas bill? Would be different from this?
It's
Maybe
mostly the
come
same.
back and do the gas bill sometime?
We could easily do that. Some of the specific electric programs are not
right
mandated on the gas bill. Some are, but not all of them. So it's a little different, but concepts are the same.
Okay. Debbie's in the car. Debbie, you're on WPRO with Gregg Cornett. Hi, Debbie.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call. This is very interesting. Quick question. I had always heard that if you do your laundry in the evening, turn your dishwasher on at night, it puts less stress on the grid. Am I currently paying less for my energy by doing that?
So currently, no. Our rate structure currently is the same, no matter whether you're using electricity at any given time. It may put less strain on the grid depending on the time of the year and what the demand is, but we don't have the ability right now to charge different at different times of the day. That was what I was telling Matt earlier. At some point, we'll be able to have that offering if folks want to take advantage of it.
So not right now, but maybe in the future.
Super. Thank you so much.
All right, Debbie, thanks for the call. Bruce is in Warwick. Bruce, you're on WPRO. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, how are you today?
Good.
Great program you have on.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. These smart meters that you're talking about, I never received any notification at my residence at all that I'm going to be receiving one. And I was wondering, it's supposed to come through the mail?
So you'll get a notice on your door letting you know in advance. The reason you haven't gotten anything at this point, we're not quite up to Warwick yet. You'll be getting it, but you will absolutely know in advance before they are there to change out your meter.
All right, so not yet,
so
Bruce.
they'll be putting a notice on the door then.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, Bruce. Thank you very much for your call. Now, you guys are also going to mail. Is it true? Mail out this mock bill to explainer for the one that's on the website eventually. So people look out for your bill. It'll probably be in the bill, I'd imagine.
It'll be in the bill, and we'll also have it on the website. And folks will start seeing it on social media as well. And as I said, we're going to keep it up to date so that people can see in real time if anything's changed.
Right. Jan is in Pawtucket. Jan, you're on WPRO. Hi, Jan.
Hi. I want to urge the public to do their research on smart meters. They are not healthy for any person in your house or any animals. This guy is a hustle, and it's a hustle from the utilities company. I urge the public to do their deep research like they didn't do for the vaccine because it affects your health. I've been on this. I've done research on this for 6 or 7 years now. It's not healthy.
And why is it not? You're talking about the radiation part of it?
Yes.
No, we talked about that. Thank you, Jan. Appreciate the call. It's a similar transmitter as anybody, and you use anything else, right?
Correct. Anything that you got wireless in your home that's got radio frequency, it's the same kind of technology. That's why we have an opt out. If folks genuinely don't want it and don't feel that they want it, they can opt out for it. It does have a lot of benefits. It's been used across the country for many years in a lot of other states, and
no problems.
No problems
that we're aware of anyway.
Yeah.
So, listen, you do what you want to do, but I can't imagine it's good for business for people to be poisoning their customers. So I would imagine it's not good for anybody to want to do that.
And the other point to understand, we're not just doing this just to do it. I mean, meters do get to their end of life, and we have to change out meters on a regular cycle. So we're at that point now. We've been at that point. Rhode Island is is really kind of on the tail end of any state that doesn't have this technology, and a lot of our customers have been asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just trying to keep these
keep pace with
keep pace with it. Yep.
Is there the way if people do want to do the opt out to just call?
Yeah,
just call customer
Yeah,
service and they'll do it.
just call customer service and they'll be opted out. They do not have to have the meter if they don't want it.
All right. Tony is in his car. Tony, you're on WPRO. Hi, Tony.
Yeah, thanks for taking the call. I'll be as brief as I can.
Yeah.
The smart meter swap out was the easiest thing and a pleasant experience with Rhode Island Energy. But since then, it's been a nightmare. We're in the 11th year in our home. Primary heat source is electric. About 9 years ago, we installed some solar panels that gives us anywhere from 25 to 40% of our usage. I've been on a budget with Narragansett Electric. I was on a budget with National Grid. I get a notice a month or so ago saying that my new budget would be $10 a month, which is ridiculous. I spent
budget meaning your cost
on the phone. My monthly payment would be $10 per month, which is nowhere near what our electric usage is.
Yeah.
I spent multiple hours on the phone. A lot of your people that answer the phone, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. They first told me I could get a budget, I could change the amount, and then they sent me a notice with another $10 bill.
Is this a situation where we can put them offline?
Absolutely.
Tony, do me a favor. Put you on hold. Give Andrew your number, and we'll have somebody contact you about it because it's such a specific thing.
Yeah, Tony, I'll have somebody call you today. That is not, we're in business made up of human beings, and we're certainly not always perfect. That is not the level of experience that I would expect our customers to have. And we'll get somebody to call you today, and we'll get it figured out.
All right, let's do one more, and then we got to wrap it up. George is in Warwick. George, you're on WPRO. Hi, George.
Hey, Matt. Tremendous show today. President Cornett, how are you, sir? Always a pleasure to listen to you.
Thank you.
I have a situation. There's a situation in Maine. We own a couple of warehouses in Maine, and we own a pretty good-sized house in Connecticut. And they're dealing with a situation. The radio station is Blueberry Communications, Voice of Maine, Rick Tyler, George Hale, and they're dealing with a situation called abandoned energy. And they're charging all of us a large amount of energy to run our warehouses. Is that something we're dealing with here? Are you in alignment with that? Can you address that situation? Would you know anything about that? And will that affect us?
Abandoned energy? I've never heard of that.
It's not a concept I'm aware of, but I'd have to look into it.
No, this isn't happening in Maine. It's not happening in Rhode Island, right?
I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't trickle down that way, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, George, thanks for calling. We're trying to deal with Rhode Island stuff.
I'll heard of it. I haven't. I'm happy to look into it and get myself educated because I don't think it's something that's trickling down here at all. It's certainly not something I've ever heard of.
All right, one quick one here. Brian in Smithfield. Brian, you're gonna be the last guy. Go ahead, Brian.
Yes, good afternoon. Just have a question about an energy assessment. I live in a townhouse in Smithfield, and I called up to have an energy assessment done, and they said I couldn't get it done because I had to have 10 or more people in the condominium association want that done before I could have my condo assessed for energy. And I don't understand. That has nothing to do with what I want to do. I want to have my condo
individual unit. Mm-hmm. Do you guys handle that? Is that your
we do it through a contractor. I'm curious if is the electricity use aggregated through the condo development, or do you have an individual meter?
No, I have an individual meter, gas and electric. My own stuff.
If I could have this customer leave his information as well, we'll get somebody to call you and figure that out as well.
All right, Brian, you're gonna get the concierge treatment. Hold on 1 second for me. Can you grab Brian Smithfield too for me, guys? Thank you for this, Greg. Excellent, great resource for people to know. Go to RhodeIslandEnergy.com, your website. Do you want to say anything final word here for people out there? What they should know about their energy bills? About Rhode Island Energy, what you're trying to get done here?
Yeah, I just want our customers to know that we are focused every single day on three things: on getting reliable energy, safe energy, and affordable energy, and that's a balance. The good news is supply prices are down for the winter, which is good. We've worked on a number of programs to try to give you credits back over the winter. That's going to be good. I understand there's a lot of animosity at times against corporations, but I live here, I work here. I spend money in the state every day on coffee and everything else, and just like an average person, and my employees do the same. So we're doing our best. I'm very mindful of the stress that is out there with cost, and we're trying to do our best, but I really appreciate the opportunity to share information because so much of this is stuff that we cannot control.
Well, and I appreciate you being so available. I don't think we've ever had somebody as in charge of the major utility in Rhode Island be as accessible as you are, and you guys the philosophy. Hopefully it continues and we don't wear you out. But
No,
and I want to talk about at some point in the future. We'll have you come back on to talk about the changes you're proposing for, I guess, some of the renewable questions that are coming up to help lower the bills.
Yeah, so we've got that
Those are the
program,
news.
and then we've got, we'll be going in, as I said, for our rate review later this year. So that'll be another process that we'll be going through for a reevaluation of all of those costs and charges that we control. And then we'll be heading to the legislative session. I would tell folks, pay attention to what's being proposed out there.
All right, Gregg Cornett, Rhode Island Energy. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. We'll take
Thank
a break and we'll come back. We'll grab more of your calls next.